So our goal is to write an app in which we find and then display the minimum integer value, which is entered within an array of integer values, input at the console. So our first step will be obviously to import the scanner. We have to start with the scanner in order to read the input from the console. So import Java util scanner. Next, we actually need to create the new scanner object. So we're going to do that within the main class. So private static scanner class, and the name is scanner equals new scanner with a parameter of system in. Notice that we're using a private method here in order to encapsulate the data. Okay, now that we have our scanner in place, our next step is to write the method for getting the integers at the console. So we are going to call this read integers. So private static integer array, read integers with a parameter of int count. And count is the number of values within the array. So in order to perform this, we need an array. We need the array that we're reading into. So new integer array of the number of count values. And this is being saved in integer array called array. So we're basically creating a default integer array. Now we want to loop through the values that are entered in the console. So we will create a loop. So for integer I equals 0, the test is I is less than array length, and the array length will be 5 in this case. So I is less than array length will be 4, and we have our increment here. So the code to actually display the message and then input the value into the array. So system out print line enter a number, and then scanner dot next int, and that will be saved to array the index position. Okay, good. Okay, now we need a line of code in order to handle the return or enter key. So that will be scanner dot next line. And then finally, after we've looped through all the integers entered, we will return the array. So return array. Okay, very good. Okay, so we've entered the values, and now we are going to write the code for the main method to be able to call this method. So system out print line enter count. So we're requesting the count. We will receive the count entry. So scanner dot next int integer count. So we're saving it to the count variable. We will handle the enter key once again. So scanner dot next line. We'll make a call to the read integers method. So here's where we're calling the method we just wrote. So read integers, the parameter count, and save it to the array integer called returned array. Okay, very good. Now, our next step, now that we've actually read the integers, we need to find the minimum value. So we will create our method. So the name of our method will be find minimum. So private static integer find min, integer array. And the first step is we need to set our minimum value that's going to be involved in the comparison. And we will set it using integer max value. So we will be setting that value to 2,147,483,647. So the idea is to make it extremely unlikely for the minimum to be lower than the value input, because we need a value to use for the comparison. Now we're going to create our loop to loop through the values within the array. So for int I equals 0, I is less than array length, I plus plus. We need the code in order to read the values within the array. So array position I, and we're placing that value in integer, the integer variable called value. And now we need to perform the comparison. So this is an if loop. So if value is less than minimum, then we save value to minimum and continue looping through the values. Okay, very good. And then at the end of our loop, we need to return the minimum. So return min. Okay, now we need to run the find min method. So we'll go up to our main method once again, below where we ran the read integers. So here we have returned array. And we will call our min method. So find min, the input parameter is returned array, and we're saving that to returned minimum. Then we need to print out the minimum value. So it'll be system out print line min equals plus return min. And then let's check and make sure that we have our brackets in place. Okay, very good. So now our app is ready to run. So enter count. So we'll say we will do a comparison of 5 numbers. Enter the number. So it's found the minimum 2. So our code ran perfectly. So excellent. Thank you for listening. This is awesome. Bye-bye.